She dumped me, admitted she was cheating, and still asked me to cover her share of the trip. I said yes to the breakup and no to the free holiday. We're better off as friends. Honestly, she told me, so I accepted it. Then she realized friendship did not mean I would still cover her share of the holiday, especially once I brought someone else instead. Hey viewers, before we continue with the video, please remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. Hey Reddit, I've been quietly reading here for years, going through all those crazy tales of betrayal and payback. I never expected I'd be the one sharing my own, but here we are. I'm 34 now, and everything happened about 6 months ago. Looking back, it's almost amusing how blind I was, or maybe just how loyal. But let me begin at the start so you understand the whole situation. My name's Alex, and I work as a marketing consultant at a mid-sized company. It's reliable work with solid pay, though it sometimes means long days. I met Jenna in college. She was this lively graphic design student, full of ambitious plans about freelancing and creating her own brand. I was drawn to her from the first moment. She had an energy that filled any space, and I enjoyed supporting her goals. After we graduated, we moved into a small apartment downtown together, nothing luxurious, but it felt like home. Right from the beginning, I was the steady one. Jenna's freelance projects came and went. Some months she landed a big client, other months she scraped by with side work like waitressing or random design jobs. I never minded covering the difference. I paid most of the rent and utilities, even helped her build a professional website and portfolio. I took overtime shifts so she could go to networking events or buy the software she needed. We're a team, I used to tell her. Your success is our success. One memory that still stands out. About 2 years in, she hit a rough stretch, lost a major client, bills stacking up. I came home worn out from a 12-hour day and found her crying on the sofa. I held her and said we'd sort it out. That same night, I moved money from my savings to cover her portion of the rent without her asking. She promised it was only temporary, and yes, her work improved later. But looking back, that created a pattern, me giving, her taking it for granted. We discussed the future often. Marriage, children, everything. I wasn't in a hurry, but I was fully committed. Last year, she began dropping hints about needing a break from the daily grind. Let's plan something unforgettable, she said. So I surprised her with tickets for a 2-week vacation at a beautiful beach resort overseas. White sand, clear water, everything we had dreamed about since college. I paid the non-refundable deposit, around $2,000 from my savings, assuming she would cover her half once her next payment arrived. She was thrilled, posting about it on social media with heart emojis and captions like couple goals. Can't wait to make memories with my favorite person, she wrote. But things began to change around that time. She started coming home late from after-work drinks, her phone lighting up more often. I would notice her reading messages with a private smile, but I told myself it was just client work. Then the small comments appeared. On social media, she shared memes about craving more adventure or outgrowing the same old routine. One evening at dinner, she casually brought up her coworker, a guy named Mark who also played music on the side. He's so spontaneous, she laughed, always arranging these crazy outings. I felt a small sting but pushed it aside. I trusted her. Why wouldn't I? I had never given her a reason to be unhappy. The distance grew gradually. I planned date nights, picnics, movie evenings, and she canceled at the last minute for inspiration sessions with friends. Intimacy faded. She claimed she was tired or stressed. I began doubting myself. Was I too predictable, too focused on stability? I even suggested we try something different, like a short weekend trip, but she brushed it off. We're fine, Alex. Stop overthinking. But I was overthinking, lying awake wondering where the woman I fell for had gone. It felt unjust. I had turned down promotions that required travel just to stay near for her career. I had set aside hobbies to free up time for us. And now this emotional gap? It hurt. Still, I never confronted her. I wanted to believe it was temporary. I had no idea it wasn't. The real blow landed one evening in our living room and changed everything. It was an ordinary Tuesday night. I had gotten home early, picked up her favorite Thai takeout from the place down the street. I set the table and lit a candle, hoping we could reconnect. Jenna arrived around 8, looking distracted, phone still in her hand. She barely noticed the setup. "Hey," I said with a smile, "thought we could share a nice meal. How was your day?" She sighed, dropping her bag on the sofa. "Alex, we need to talk." My stomach tightened. Those words never lead anywhere positive. I nodded and sat down. "Okay, what's going on?" She paced for a moment, avoiding my eyes at first. Then she stopped, folded her arms, and said it straight. "Look, I've been thinking a lot lately about us. I love you. But I think we're better as friends. Honestly." I blinked, the words not fully sinking in. "Friends? What do you mean?" She sat across from me, her voice a strange mix of pity and certainty. "Come on, Alex, we've been together forever. You're great, reliable, kind. But lately I feel like we've drifted apart. I'm craving more excitement, you know. Someone who pulls me out of my comfort zone." A chill ran through me. "Is there someone else?" She hesitated, then nodded as if it were nothing major. "Yeah, Mark from work. We've been spending time together. It's not serious yet, but he understands me. He's spontaneous, always planning adventures. With you, it's just the same routine. Work, home, repeat." "I need more than that. Routine. I just booked that vacation to change things up." But I kept my voice steady. "So you've been cheating?" She rolled her eyes as if I were overreacting. "It's not cheating if we're basically just roommates at this point. We haven't been intimate in weeks. And don't act surprised. I've been dropping hints for months. Those posts about needing adventure. That was me trying to tell you." I stared at her while the food grew cold, hinting instead of talking to me directly. "Whatever, Alex, you're always so logical. That's part of the problem. No passion, no spark. Mark makes me feel alive. He took me to an underground concert last weekend. It was amazing. You would have hated it. Too loud, too unpredictable." She laughed then, a smug little sound that cut deep. "Remember when I suggested we try something new like skydiving? You said it was too dangerous. That's you, always playing it safe." I deserve someone who matches my energy. I leaned back, taking it in. The betrayal stung. But her turning it around to blame me. "So what now? You want to end it?" "Yeah," she said with a shrug. "But we can stay friends, right? We have history. It doesn't have to get messy. We can still hang out, grab coffee sometimes. And about the vacation, we could go as friends. It would be awkward to cancel. And you already paid the deposit. I'll pay you back my half eventually." There it was, the manipulation. She ends the relationship, admits she cheated, and in the same breath expects me to still pay for her trip. Her reasoning was pure entitlement, as if friendship automatically included my money. I took a slow breath and stayed calm. No shouting, no pleading. "If that's how you feel, okay." She blinked, clearly surprised. "Okay, that's it. What do you want me to say, Jenna?" "You made your decision." She smirked and stood up. "See, even now, no fight, no emotion. That's why this won't work. Mark would have argued, shown he cares." I stood as well and picked up my keys. "I care, but I'm not going to beg you to stay." As I walked toward the bedroom to pack an overnight bag, she called after me. "You're really leaving? Just like that?" "Yeah," I answered over my shoulder. "Friends don't live together, right?" She huffed. "Fine, but don't make this awkward with our friends." "Tell them it was mutual." I said nothing. I threw some clothes into a duffel, grabbed my laptop, and walked out the door without another word. She stood in the hallway, arms crossed, looking almost disappointed that I hadn't caused a scene. I drove to a friend's place, slept on his couch, and that was the end. No dramatic exit, just quiet separation. That night lying there, the unfairness hit hard. 5 years, all those sacrifices, and she discarded me like yesterday's news, complete with smug excuses. But I didn't text her, didn't call. I simply let go. That first night at my friend Mike's place was difficult. I barely slept, staring at the ceiling and replaying her words. Better as friends, no spark. It felt like a punch to the gut, especially after everything I had invested. I kept remembering moments that now seemed completely one-sided. Like the time she wanted to quit her side job to focus on freelancing full-time. I encouraged her, and even used my emergency savings to cover groceries and bills for a couple of months. "We'll make it work," I had said. She hugged me tightly then and called me her rock. Now I was just routine. The confusion stayed for days. Why cheat instead of talking? Why twist everything to make me the villain? It was simply unfair. I had never been the jealous type, never tried to control her. I trusted her enough to book that vacation without a second thought. And her assuming we would still go as friends. That entitlement burned, but I didn't lash out. No angry messages, no showing up at the apartment demanding answers. I just stepped back. Mike was a huge help. "Dude, she's showing who she really is," he said over beers that weekend. You deserve better. He let me stay as long as I needed, no questions asked. I took a few days off work to clear my head, went for long runs, and hit the gym harder than usual. It helped turn the pain into something useful. I started writing things down too, listing all the warning signs I had ignored. Her late nights, the way she compared me to others in subtle ways. Like Mark's band played this cool show. Wish we did things like that. Hindsight is harsh. On the practical side, I handled everything with quiet efficiency. I emailed the landlord about ending the lease early for personal reasons. Transferred the utilities out of my name. Closed the joint bank account after withdrawing my half. No drama, just a clean break and the vacation. The deposit was non-refundable, but the remaining balance wasn't due yet. Jenna had never paid her share, always saying next paycheck. I didn't remind her. Why should I? Friends don't expect free rides. A week later, I unblocked her on one app just in case of emergencies with shared items. But mostly I stayed silent. I focused on myself. I picked up old hobbies again. Photography, those sci-fi books I had put aside. I even went on a solo hike one weekend, something I had always wanted but delayed for her. Standing on that trail, breathing fresh air, the fog began to clear. I wasn't broken, I was free. The silence wasn't weakness, it was strength. I realized I had been carrying the relationship alone for a long time. Her betrayal stung, but it also made things clear. I deserved someone who saw my stability as a strength, not a flaw. Work improved too. I threw myself into a major project and my boss noticed. "Alex, you're on fire lately," she said in a meeting. It felt good, validation from effort, not from begging for affection. I even started casually dating, nothing serious. I met a woman named Laura at a networking event. Smart, kind, and she appreciated my dry humor. We had coffee a couple of times with no pressure. It was refreshing, like finding parts of myself that Jenna had dimmed. The unfairness still echoed sometimes late at night. 5 years gone, but I didn't dwell on it. I let the silence speak, and soon enough karma started answering. It took about a month for the cracks to appear on her side. I heard bits through mutual friends, nothing I looked for, just casual updates. Apparently things with Mark ended quickly. He was spontaneous, all right, spontaneously disappeared after a few weeks of fun. Turned out he was seeing other women, the classic player type. Jenna had quit her waitressing job on impulse to travel with him or something similar, leaving her freelance income as her only support. But clients dried up once she started posting dramatic rants online about fake people and moving on. Friends pulled away. No one enjoys mess. The first message came about 5 weeks after the breakup. I was at the gym when my phone buzzed. "Hey Alex, how have you been? Miss chatting. We should grab coffee as friends sometime. Oh, and about the vacation, the deposit is down, right? I can Venmo my half soon, let's not waste it." I stared at the screen, still assuming I would carry her. "No apology, just casual entitlement," I replied briefly. "No need, handle your own." Her answer came fast. "What? Come on, don't be like that. Friends help each other, it's not like I can afford to lose that money right now." I didn't answer, blocked the number for good measure. A couple of days later, calls started from her mother of all people. Jenna's family was always pushy, the type to interfere. Her mom, Karen, fitting name, left a voicemail. "Alex, this is Karen. Jenna told me what happened. You two were so good together. Why throw it away over a small mistake? She's going through a hard time. Be the bigger person and talk to her." Family sticks together, even as friends. I deleted it without calling back. Then her best friend Tina, toxic as they come and always enabling Jenna's drama, texted, "Dude, you're being cold. Jenna's hurting, she didn't mean to cheat, it just happened, at least listen to her about the trip, she needs a break." Hurting after her smug breakup speech, I replied, "Not my problem," blocked. The desperation increased. Jenna must have gotten a new number because a week later she called while I was at work. I let it go to voicemail at first, but curiosity won. I listened later. "Alex, it's me. Okay, fine, you win. I was wrong. Mark was a jerk. He used me and left. I'm sorry for how I ended things. Can we talk? I miss you, miss us. And the vacation, I really need it right now. Things are rough. Freelance isn't paying and I'm behind on rent. As friends, maybe you could help me out? I'll pay you back, I promise." Her voice cracked a little, but it still felt manipulative. Still no real accountability. I didn't call back. Then she showed up. At my office, no less. She must have remembered the address from earlier visits. It was lunchtime. I was heading out when I saw her in the lobby, looking frazzled, hair messy, eyes red, a far cry from the confident woman who had laughed in my face. "Alex," she said, rushing over. "Please don't walk away, I need to talk." I stopped and kept my tone even. "What is it, Jenna?" She fidgeted, glancing around. "I'm sorry for everything. The cheating, the way I said it. I was stupid." Mark seemed exciting, but he was abusive. He yelled at me, then disappeared when I needed him. Now I'm alone and broke. Friends are ditching me because of the drama, but you were always there. Can we try again? Or at least be real friends? Help me out. I crossed my arms. You made your choice. Her eyes filled. Come on, don't be heartless. I know I hurt you, but we have history. The vacation, let's go together. It will fix things. I'll make it up to you. No, she shifted, anger rising. Seriously. After all those years I put up with your boring routine. You owe me for sticking around that long. At least cover my half of the trip. It's the least you can do as a friend. There it was, the true colors. Entitlement turning into rage. "Oh, you," I said calmly. "Friends don't cheat and then demand money." She snapped. "You're petty, Mark was right. You're spineless. No wonder I left." I turned to leave. "Goodbye, Jenna," she yelled after me. "You'll regret this." I was the best thing that ever happened to you. But I didn't look back. Security escorted her out. That meeting sealed it. She wasn't sorry, just desperate. Mutual friends began siding with me after hearing about it. "She's falling apart," one texted. "Sorry we didn't see it sooner." Karma hit hard and I hadn't lifted a finger. A couple of months later, the remaining balance for the vacation came due. I had paid it in full for 2 people, but not with her in mind. By then, I had been seeing Laura more seriously. We clicked easily. She was a teacher, grounded, and laughed at my jokes without the subtle digs. When I mentioned the trip, her eyes lit up. "I'd love to go," she said. No entitlement, just genuine excitement, so I invited her. It felt right, reclaiming what was mine. The final twist happened at the airport. We were checking in early in the morning, bags in hand, when I spotted Jenna across the terminal. She looked rough, rumpled clothes, alone with a small carry-on. She must have checked my social media or heard through the grapevine that I was still going. She headed straight over, eyes wide. "Alex, wait, you're here," with her. Laura squeezed my hand, sensing the tension. A few mutual acquaintances from our old circle were nearby getting coffee, perfect witnesses. Jenna glanced at Laura, then back at me. "Can we talk? Alone?" I shook my head. "No need, please," she begged, voice shaking. "I messed up badly. Mark left me in debt. I had to borrow from my mom just to eat. Friends disappeared after I vented online. But seeing you now, I realize what I lost. You're stable, kind. I was blind. Let's start over. I'll change. Even if not, can I join the trip as friends? I'll sleep on the couch or something. I need this escape." Her desperation hung in the air, pathetic. The acquaintances watched and murmured. "Jenna," I said firmly, "that chapter is closed. I've built a new life, better job, real connections. This trip is for me and Laura now." She teared up. "But we planned it together. You can't just replace me." "Replace," I echoed calmly. "You replaced me first. With Mark, remember." "You said I was boring, no spark." Her face crumpled. "I was wrong. Please, Alex, I'm sorry. Don't leave me like this. I felt nothing. No pity, no pull. Your choices led here. Mine lead forward." She grabbed my arm. "You owe me a second chance, after everything." Laura stepped in gently. "Let's go, Alex." I nodded and turned away. "Take care of yourself, Jenna, but don't contact me again." She shouted as we walked toward the gate. "You'll be miserable without me. She's just a rebound." But her words bounced off. The acquaintances shook their heads, one even mouthing "good for you" to me. Boarding the plane hand in hand with Laura, I felt free. Jenna, irrelevant. She would see the photos online later, us on the beach, happy. Her downfall on display, my growth undeniable. Life moves on, and mine is better without her.